When I set out to expanding my work beyond just my little community, and what that encompassed is a lot of traveling also to teach other people how to grow mushrooms. So I've been teaching people to grow mushrooms in Europe, I've been teaching in India, in Colombia, in Ghana, Congo, Cameroon, and many other places, including even Mongolia, where you would think who would grow mushrooms there. One time I was on one of my trips to Belgium, actually, a common friend that got us connected, because my work with children is also not just addressing food, but also teaching them to express themselves. How do they speak up to the things that happen to them? Because a lot of the times when you're growing up as an orphan, you experience a lot of harsh things that if not shared, you are stuck. Even as a grown woman, I have known people who grow to become adults, but without having the ability to share that, they get stuck and they keep going in circles. They cannot find closure. And that's also a big part of my work. It's also how my foundation was born, because I also had to write about myself, to write about my experiences, and the title of my first writing was The Future of Hope. And that's how today we have the Future of Hope Foundation. And that's also by looking back at what happened to me, it's also how I find, okay, what can I do now to address those things so that they don't come back again? Not to me, of course, but to the people who are in the same situation as I was. And so we do expression workshops, and actually my first contact with Koen was because he made an art piece which he uses to facilitate expression for children like the ones that I work with. And I went to his studio and we talked about that first, and out of that, the work with expression, came all these other connections that we enjoy today.
So, the Cosmopolitan Chicken Project is actually a project that started when I was a kid. I had these chickens. I had a huge interest in it. I didn't know why, but I came up with very important questions. Why do you put it in a cage? Why was the chick struggling to get out of the egg? So I saw immediately the conflict of life, because life is full of conflict. Before you get born, you have to be strong, you have to choose the right moment, all these kind of things. So it's a mix between your natural feeling and later with your brain as well. I came back from Zimbabwe and I thought, I know the bridge. The bridge is the mushroom. The mushrooms that Chido is breeding. Because you can breed on the dang of these camelids. You can breed these mushrooms. So in one way or another, it will increase the product. And then the waste, the mycelium, you can give to the chickens. I saw immediately a completely ecosystem coming up. And so knowing this kind of things, I started to think about what are we doing with this animal? We are blocking this evolution by making it as a monoculture, and it has such a rich value. So we have to be careful. So that was actually the moment that I started to think about what to do. And then I started actually to de-domesticate the chicken by crossbreeding it and concentrated on the diversity. But with the purpose of making an art piece, because an art piece is not infected by the industry, it's not affected on an economical system. And I think this is quite nice. And that's how it becomes the biggest, the DNA bank. And so the Cosmopolitan Chicken turns into the Planetary Community Chicken. It goes a step higher, and it gives his genes back to local farmers.